Friends from the press, good afternoon. Welcome to the regular press conference of the Foreign Ministry. Now I would like to take your questions. CCTV. The 11th China-UK Economic and Financial Dialogue was co-chaired and concluded by Vice Premier He Lifeng and British Chancellor of the Exchequer Rachel Reeves over the weekend. Could you share with us the outcomes of the dialogue? On January 11th, Vice Premier He Lifeng and British Chancellor of the Exchequer Rachel Reeves co-chaired the 11th China-UK Economic and Financial Dialogue, and the two sides reached 69 mutually beneficial outcomes. During the dialogue, both sides expressed their shared will of upholding multilateralism and economic globalization and a commitment to supporting the rules-based multilateral trading system with the World Trade Organization at its core and building an open world economy. Both sides agreed that the China-UK cooperation is conducive to the development of both sides and work together to keep the global industrial supply chains stable and smooth and oppose decoupling and severing of supply chains. They also agreed to remove obstacles to two-way investment and promote a non-discriminatory and open business environment. Both sides reached a series of consensus on industrial, agricultural, and energy cooperation and also agreed to convene the UK-China Joint Economic and Trade Commission, Joint Commission on Science, Technology, Innovation Cooperation, and the China-UK Industrial Cooperation Dialogue as soon as possible, deepen the China-UK Industrial Cooperation Partnership, and step up cooperation on combating climate change. Both sides underlined the financial sector as a highlight for cooperation and expressed readiness to strengthen cooperation on economic and financial policy and financial regulatory cooperation, and reached a series of deliverables on two-way opening up of financial markets and connectivity. The outcomes of this dialogue capture the wide-ranging and in-depth economic and financial cooperation between China and the UK and benefit both sides and the whole world as they follow the prevailing trend of economic globalization and multilateralism. Guided by the important common understandings between the leaders of the two countries, China stands ready to work with the UK to deliver on the outcomes of the dialogue, make more progress on practical cooperation, inject new impetus for bilateral relations, and provide new driving forces for global economic growth. Next one, please. Next question, please.
Yonhap News Agency is reported by the ROK media that Foreign Minister Wang Yi is adjusting his schedule and he will visit the ROK as early as next month. Is the Foreign Minister Wang Yi planning to visit the ROK?
China and the ROK are close neighbors and important cooperation partners. Advancing the sound development of China-ROK relations serves the common interests of the two sides. On the high-level exchanges between China and the ROK, I have nothing specific to share. Next question, please.
Thank you. Question from Reuters.
路透社，中国政府对于周五美国的决定有何反应？美国决定将山东的油气管道公司加入最近关于俄罗斯油气制裁的名单，中方是否会采取反制行为？
中方一贯反
China always opposes the U.S. overstretching the concept of national security and obstructs the normal economic and trade relations. China rejects illegal unilateral sanctions without the authorization of the UNSC and which lacks international law basis. Next one, please.
乌通社关于俄乌冲突，乌克兰国防部对上周抓获了2名在俄作战的朝鲜士兵，证实了朝鲜直接参与了俄乌冲突，同时也证明了俄罗斯正在朝鲜进行军事合作，这违反了联合国安理会对于朝鲜的制裁。外交部对于朝鲜参与俄对乌侵略有何评论？
我不了解你。
I'm not aware of what you mentioned. China's position on the Ukraine crisis is consistent and clear. We hope that all parties will promote the de-escalation of the situation and strive for the political settlement.
下一个问题。
Next one, please.
Thank you, Bloomberg News.
彭博社，菲律宾表示已提出了外交抗议，以对抗中国在菲律宾南海专属经济区内的持续非法存在和活动。此前，菲律宾表示，一艘大型的海岸警卫队船 CCG-5901 返回该地区。外交部对此有何回应？ China's sovereignty and the rights in the South China Sea were established in the long course of history. They are solidly grounded in history and the law, and are consistent with international law and practices. China Coast Guard conducts its patrols and law enforcement activities in relevant waters, which is lawful, justified, and beyond reproach. China urges the Philippines to stop spreading malicious remarks and driving a wedge between China and other countries. Next one, please.
谢谢。中国日报提问：上周末，王毅外长结束了。
China Daily. Last weekend, Foreign Minister Wang Yi concluded his visit to Africa at the start of the year. The visit is closely followed by Africa and the world. It's commented that when engaging with African countries, China treats them as equals regardless of their size, works with them to turbocharge sustainable development to achieve long-term growth. Could you share more details about the significance of the visit? Foreign Minister Wang Yi paid a successful visit to Africa and fully shared with the press the details on the visit before leaving the continent. The visit marks the fine tradition for Chinese foreign ministers to start their year-round overseas visits with a trip to Africa. During this visit, new consensus and outcomes have been achieved on implementing the 10 partnership actions put forward by President Xi Jinping for modernization through China-Africa cooperation. This is Chinese foreign minister's first visit to Africa after characterization of China-Africa relations is elevated to an all-weather China-Africa community with a shared future for the new era. The visit cements all-weather friendship between the two sides. Despite a changing world year after year, the original aspiration of China and Africa to support and treat each other as equals remains rock solid. Leaders of African countries have reaffirmed their firm commitment to the One China principle and expressed their condolences of the earthquake in Xizang. This visit beefs up China-Africa cooperation in various fields. Tangible outcomes have been made enhancing exchanges among civilizations, promoting green development and deepening agricultural cooperation, among others. Both China and Africa are on their course to modernization. Without Africa's modernization, there will be no global modernization. This visit advances China-Africa cooperation across the board and symbolizes the joint effort of both sides to readdress the historical injustice to Africa, promote the solidarity of the global south, and build a just and equitable global governance system. The pace-setting China-Africa relations will become a shining example of building a community with a shared future for mankind. Next one, please.
Question from Reuters.
路透社，班巴次人所谓的流亡政府周日表示，中华人民共和国的信息审查对于伤亡人员的报道以及地震报道产生了挑战。他说，中国政府应该尊重藏族人民以及传统文化的观点，中方对此有何评论？
所谓西藏流亡政
The so-called Xizang government in exile is a completely separatist faction. There's no country in the world has recognized that. On its separatist nature and political agenda, we are pretty clear and maintain highly alert. On the earthquake in Dingzhi County, we've introduced relevant information on the response and relief efforts. Relevant meetings have also been convened to study the relevant work and effort. Since the outbreak of the earthquake, under the strong leadership of the General Secretary Xi Jinping, relevant departments have responded quickly. Party cadres have made solidarity and overcome many difficulties, such as lack of oxygen. We have minimized casualties and have seen an overall and smooth ride of the response efforts. We are confident to overcome the disaster and resume normal life and industrial order in the affected area. Next one, please. Any other questions? Then that will conclude today's press conference. Thank you for coming.